Hey motherfuckers, what's up? Elvis X here from the Empire X Gaming community, bringing you a special edition Halloween anime review. Alright, so this time we're looking at the anime Black Blood Brothers in the spirit of Halloween. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do, bitches. And this anime is kind of an odd one to look at, mainly because it's one of those that has potential to be really, really fucking great, but it's way too damn short. Anyways, so I guess let's start with a breakdown of the story, alright? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So the show opens up, and we're treated to a really kick-ass fight scene between humans and vampires that takes place in Hong Kong. Actually, it is really badass. You guys should check it out. But anyways, it is then we are introduced to our protagonist, Jiro Muchizuki, voiced by J. Michael Tatum himself. The man, the myth, the legend. You know that voice actor that a lot of people I'm sure have heard of by now. Right. Back to what I was saying. He is a vampire that is known as the Kin Killer for the fact that he has sided with humans to aid in our cause. And he's wearing a long red coat and wields a giant sword, you motherfuckers. Dante clone! Which actually, I don't mind too much. Dante is one of the most badass, most influential game characters ever. He's a walking cliche and trope of badassness. So let's see where this goes. Well, during this conflict, we learn that there are several types of vampires. For one, there's the traditional vampires, you know, like Jiro himself, that are just night walkers, etc., drink human blood, and so forth. But then we learn about our antagonists. They are known as the Kulon children. These vampires are a menace to society because normal vampires tend to not kill who they feed on, whereas the Kulon do kill who they feed on. And they're, well, typically just assholes. Regardless, after we see Jiro fight several of them, we flash forward 10 years to the present day of this anime, where we learn that Jiro Michizuki is traveling with his younger brother Kotaro Michizuki on a cruise ship to a place known as the Special Zone. The Special Zone is pretty much a place where vampires and humans coexist, overruled by a government. Well, not everything goes smoothly on this boat ride, unfortunately, whereas Jiro and Kotaro are forced off the ship and to shore. When they reach shore, they meet our third protagonist, Mimiko Katsuaki, voiced by Colleen Clinkenbeard! Moving on, we find out that Mimiko is what's known as a compromiser. A compromiser works for the Special Zone's government as someone who mediates the relationship between black bloods like vampires and red bloods like ourselves, or green bloods like Reptile, or... Okay, I'll shut up before one of you slaps the shit out of me. Anyway, needless to say, after a bunch of bullshit, she manages to guide them into the Special Zone, which... You might be thinking, wasn't this a lot of spoilers? No, all this is really thrown at you within the first 3 episodes or so. I'm not fucking around. I just summed up everything as quickly as I could. Anyway, when they arrive in the Special Zone, however, Jiro soon discovers that not everything is as it seems. There are 3 warring factions, all vying for control of the Special Zone, as well as the government trying to keep a lid on the existence of vampires, and, not to mention, enemies from Jiro's past, the Kulon children, are lurking in the shadows, trying to manipulate things from behind the scenes. Will Jiro and his younger brother and the compromiser Mimiko be able to stand against the foes from Jiro's past? Or will this be another incident from Hong Kong 10 years ago? Who knows? You'd have to watch it yourself to find out. It's about all I'm going to give you on the plot, and honestly, it is worth seeing. Now let's move on from the story to the characters. First off, obviously we have Jiro, his younger brother Kotaro, and Mimiko. And all 3 of them are pretty likable. They all fit their roles respectively. Jiro happens to be the walking, badass action hero, vampire hunter. And he's quite likable. He's not the typical cliche of just giving one-liners, killing everything. He actually is character to him and growth. You actually see when things hurt him or stuff like that. You see how vulnerable he is, but at the same time you see how confident he is and everything. His younger brother Kataro is typical, I guess, younger brat brother that everyone has had to put up with. Unless you're an only child, then you will spare that miserable fate. And Mimiko, I honestly thought when I first saw this was going to be the whole damsel in distress bit, but no, she actually pulls her own weight too. And it's actually interesting to see the relationship between her and Jiro and the other characters evolve. I mean, they tried shoehorning in some romance subplot, but it honestly takes a backseat to everything else, so nothing really wrong with that, I suppose. As far as some of the other characters, there's a lot of them thrown at you. My particular favorite is Zelman Clock. He happens to be one of the oldest living vampires ever, and he's honestly really badass. He controls fire, and he's got this really kick-ass attitude, like fuck everything if they don't agree with me, but he's really laid back about it. Again, he's definitely my favorite character in this anime. But this is where some of the problems ensue. There are so many characters in this anime that it's almost like it's trying to do, everyone's going to find someone they like. But some of these characters don't get enough screen time. And it's a real shame because some of them are actually really cool. Whereas other characters that have had plenty of screen time continue to get more when it's not really that necessary. Moving on from that, the animation. The animation is actually really decent. The fight scenes do what they need to, everything looks nice, the characters are drawn correctly, and honestly, the fight scenes are really entertaining to watch as well. Like I said, once the fight starts, you're actually drawn in. The animation does a good job of capturing all the action. From that, we move to the Oedo. I'm in the audio. Yeah, that's what I meant. Dumbasses thought I fucked up my English. Anyway, the soundtrack, it's actually not that bad. It has the typical atmosphering, enhancing OST that you come to expect from these types of animes, but during the fight scenes, the fight music is actually really kick-ass and memorable. When a fight scene starts and you hear like a badass song comes on, trust me, you feel it. It's like, oh shit, this is gonna be sexy, and it usually is in this show. So I give them props for that. The sound effects also do a really good job of, being really loud and heart pounding and everything. And as far as the dub quality, holy shit, the dub in this show is really good. I already told you guys I'm not sure about the sub. I don't follow subs at all, actually, but the dub in this show is really spot on. All the characters seem to enjoy their roles, and you can tell they wanted to put their hearts into this. Just moving on from that, on my whole final thoughts on this, the show is not perfect, obviously. There is one major problem. The story is really good, but the show ends way too quickly. It's only 12 episodes, and they try cramming a lot into 12 episodes. And it's one of those shows that once everything's resolved in episode 12, it builds up, and then it just cuts you short, like it slaps you right in the face, saying, yeah, we're introducing a badass plot coming up, but you're not going to get to see it. Fuck you, asshole. It begs the show to be a 24 to 26 episode anime. If it were, this could have gone down as one of the all-time greats of the vampire genre. It really is that good. That's what really pisses me off about this show. Because I really did enjoy this. I honestly started loving this anime by the end of it and got really well invested into the plot. But yeah, unfortunately, it falls short and cock teases you at the very end. After introducing what the main setup is going to be, it ends. Is it still worth watching? Hell yeah. Go right ahead. It's a really kick-ass show. It just really could have been a lot longer. So, on the positive side, most of the characters are memorable and likable. The animation is typically good. The soundtrack is decent as well. And the storyline is presented in a really cool way. On the negative side, although the storyline is presented decently, it honestly just ends way too quickly. The anime begs to be a lot longer. Anyway, so I give this show an 8.5 out of 10. Please leave a comment below and let me know what you thought of this review, and like and subscribe to this video if you wish to see more. And also, tell me an anime you'd like me to review, please. And tell me what you thought of this show, who your favorite character is. I already stated mine was Zelman Clark. He's fucking awesome. So, guess that's it. Happy Halloween, and if you excuse me, I have to go torture people, because that's what I like celebrating my Halloween with doing. You fucking know it, you sons of bitches. So, till next time, bye!